Hi, everyone, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Ondas, and today is Friday, the 10th of February, 2023. And today I want to share with you the Love for You stamp set or bundle because we are going to use the dies and just go over some tips and tricks for using them. And we're going to make a fun card. So I am going to remind you that celebration ends at the end of the month. And don't forget, if there's something you've been wanting to buy or to get, now's the time to do it, because if you spend $50, you are also going to be able to pick out something free from all the different celebration items. And Stampin' Up! Recently just added several new items to that, the choices for celebration. Also, if you shop with me and use my host code and spend $50 before tax or shipping, you get a 44 tutorial PDF bundle from me for some inspiration and for some stamping ideas. So I'm going to quit talking and I'm going to flip this camera down and we're going to get started. Hopefully you can see me well. If you're with me live, please leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. And if you have any questions as we go through this, please post them in the chat. Now, if you are watching from Facebook, you may see in the description, because I am streaming from StreamYard, you may have to click a link there that'll allow you to be identified if you leave a comment. Otherwise, it just comes up with Facebook user. So let me bring in my catalog. This is the mini catalog, and this is the stamp set we're going to use. I know when I pick out stamp sets, when I first go through a catalog, I'm pretty quick to judge which ones I like and kind of skip over the other ones. This was one I just completely skipped right over. I didn't think much of it. And as I kept going back through it, I really noticed I loved the large fonts and the script, and I loved all these greetings because I'm always looking for greetings. And this is a stamp set that it was the greetings that caught my eye, not the flowers. We have lots of flowers, but the greetings, I love them, and you can use them for almost any occasion. So this is the one we're going to use. And the paper I'm using, let me bring that over for you just so you know, is on one page back. And it is on page 9 of the mini catalog. And I am using this Country Gingham Designer Series paper. This paper is really very adaptable all year for any occasion, and I love the colors. The colors are balmy blue, mint macaron, petal pink, and sweet sorbet. So I'm going to bring those in for you quick so you can see them. You get 6 different double-sided sheets of gingham, and you get 8 of each sheet. So I'm just trying to spread them out here so you can see them. Aren't those pretty? I really love them, and they're perfect for spring and summer. And then if you flip them over, you have some of the same colors, but some smaller patterns. Today, we are going to be using this one for our card. Now, the card I'm making, you could use it as a Valentine's Day card. You could use it for birthday. You could use it for anniversary. We're going to make this card. And the reason I want to show you how to use the dies, because they can be a little bit confusing, but they're so much fun to use. So stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set. And I have my dies in with my stamp set here. They fit on a 5x7 magnetic sheet. And I want to show you these so that you can get an idea as we use them, how we use them. This is a silhouette background, as is this one. Let me move those out of the way. And then this fits inside it. So if I were to turn it over, and you probably can't see this, it says "So Much Love." And then this one, if I turn it over, the one says for you. Now, these are the dies that I used for this image and this image here. So you can see the different scripts and fonts and how they play together. But when I first used this die, I punched it out, and here's what I got. So hopefully you can see that. That's it. So much love. And you can't really read it. So you have to stamp it, then cut it out, because it's going to cut each word separately. So that's how that one works. Now this one works the same, but you can do some other things with these. You can cut, and this is what we'll do, just this one, and then you have, this says for you, you have these smaller dies that you can cut, and you're going to get something like this. So here's your smaller dies. Here's these larger ones, and they play together and you layer them. So let's just get busy crafting and see what it looks like. So we are going to start, let me move this all out of the way here. We're going to start with Sweet Sorbet. And I'm using a 4.5 by 11. This is a half a piece of basic cardstock, and it's scored at 5.5. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold it, and then use my bone folder to give it a good crease. Okay. Our layer for this card is a piece of that designer series paper that I showed you, and I cut this at 4 by 5.25. Now, when you cut that off, you get a 2-inch piece by 6 that you can use on another card, and then you get the bottom half of this. I use this for the inside of my card, and I'll show you as we move on and finish. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to adhere this to the front of my card. So I hope you have some fun plans for the week, and they involve something you enjoy doing, whatever that is, and that you find some time to relax and kind of unwind from the week that you've just had. Okay. I want to slide that over a little bit, which is why I use my glue. It allows me to slide so that I just can center it a little bit. So that's going to be the front. And I'm going to go ahead and move this off to the side. And we're going to stamp. I'm going to show you how to stamp this So Much Love. Now I'm going to use my Stamparatus, mainly because sometimes I just don't press hard enough to get a good image. And even though they're photopolymer, I could try to stamp it again with a block, but it's just easier, I think, for me to use my Stamparatus. So I've already put my stamp up in the corner, and I take my paper and I put it up in the corner here because that helps to hold it in place. And I'm just going to use my magnets and try to keep them away from one another to hold that down, and then make sure I have good coverage. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to do something a little bit different. You know, or if you've watched me before, you've heard me say so many times that those photopolymer stamps do stain, and that's fine. It doesn't affect your image at all. It's still you still get just as good a quality image with it stained as you do when you first take it out of the wrapper. But I'm going to stamp with some Versamark. I want to cover my stamp with Versamark. It's clear, and we know it's sticky. I want to try just to get a little bit of sheen to my my greeting. And now let's pull in, sorry for reaching over. I'm going to pull in another one of my pads and I want to give this covered well. So let's go ahead and we're going to press down. Now I don't always have a lot of strength in that hand to press, so I do have a little piece of wood with a felted pad that I can use to push that down on. And that's pretty good, but I don't know, you may be able to see there's a little bit here on the end that isn't covered well. So I'm going to re-ink. I'm going to go ahead and go over it again. I am going to bring this in. And I really like that image. That's nice and bold, if you can see it there. So we're done with that. Now I am going to go ahead and just some tips for your photopolymer. I clean mine right away. And you can see it does wipe off a good amount of the image. Also, the Versamark kind of helps to protect some of that ink from staining. But you can also, if you need to, clean these with alcohol. So I just keep an alcohol wipes at my desk, and I go ahead and I just wipe them off. And you can see you do get the ink off. But I clean them right away, so that's less chance of mine staining. So we're done with this. So we're going to move this out of the way. Now I want to be able to cut this out. So I'm going to bring in this die that says, that goes with this So Much Love. And I am going to, I always anchor mine down, and I use the Post-it note tape because for me, it lifts really easy. It doesn't tear the paper. But you can use, if you have a washi tape, that works well too. So I'm going to pop over right behind me, cut this out, and I'll be right back. I'm going to bring my plate back in, and you can see now this is how they cut out. You have 3 words. So you can see why you want to stamp that before you cut the die. And that I learned just from doing it the wrong way. So now what do we want to do? Well, if you remember, we cut this large silhouette die. That's this one. And this is what fits these words. So I want to show you how to layer these, because when you look at it, it's kind of like, okay, where do you put them? Well, for me, I started with the much, and I kind of followed the silhouette line. And then you can see the love goes below and follows the curves, and then the so is right here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start from the middle, and I'm going to adhere the word much first. And I am going to bring in my silicone mat just so I don't get any glue on my paper that we're working on. Now, you can use your glue. You can also use the adhesive backing, and that will work too. So here's much. Let's go ahead and add love. And again, I'm just following the lines of the curves with this. If you can see, I'm I'm going to pick this up right in here. You have a little indentation that matches the one in the word love. And now let's go ahead and put in sew. And this one's going to swing up just a little bit to match those curves. So here's your silhouette. Now I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals, and I'm going to put it right in here. So let's grab those. Now, if you new to watching me, I'm so happy that you found me. And hit that subscribe button, and you'll get notified when I post a new video or when I go live. And if you're returning or catching me on the replay, thank you so much for your support and helping me grow my channel. I really appreciate it. Okay, I am going to put one in the middle because if I put this through the mail, I want it to hold as it goes through the machine. So let's just remove these. It's a fun stamp set. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna kind of angle this. So much love. Now, I want to add the words for you. And to do that, I cut out this piece in black. Okay, and then I cut out the scripted piece, which I showed you just a few minutes ago, and the other one's here or somewhere that fits in there. I cut that out in the sweet sorbet. So we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to adhere those. Now, when I cut my silhouette out in the black, I actually cut it out of a scrap piece that had adhesive backing on it, which I didn't know about till I turned it over to apply glue. So we're just going to use it. Now, I do have fine tip. Now, with these really thin greetings, you can use your adhesive backing, and that would work really easy for you. And you just take that backing off and apply it to the silhouette. I have a fine tip glue here. And I'm going to go ahead and just adhere these to the right side. And there's our first one. And now let's go ahead with the U. And I'm going to punch out. The center here did not punch out for me that well. Oh, let's see here. I guess here it is. It's just being stubborn. So I'm going to take it from the back. And there we go. And you can see the adhesive backing through that little hole. So let's go ahead, and we're going to apply some glue to this. And I just try to do little dots or run a real thin line through. The dots will work. But just make sure you get your ends so it holds down. And then we're going to go ahead and just fit that right on there. And you want to be careful. That's another thing when you're putting these thinner or finer scripted down. If you pull them out of shape, and then they don't fit on your silhouettes as well. And again, with the glue, I can slide. So let's go ahead, and we're going to adhere these. Now remember, these I said have backing. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel this off. peels off pretty easy. And this one I'm going to put right about, let's see here. And then we're going to go with the U. And I'm just going to come in with this right here. Okay, now I want to dress this up a little bit. So I decided to use some of the stamps that were in this stamp set. Now, the stamps in the stamp set, the flowers, are two-step stamps. You have a large flower and then the detailed stamp for that, and the same here. And then you have two leaves, a large and or double and a single, and you also have the detailed stamp. So I'm just gonna show you, for those of you that may be new to two-step stamping, how those work. But I have cut those out ahead of time. Now I wanted to add some color to this card, and I didn't want to stay with pinks or reds or anything. So I chose to use Pool Party. And because they're a photopolymer stamp set, you want to use your piercing mat, because you are going to get a little better image than you would if you don't use it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and stamp. And then I'm going to come in with the detailed stamp. I'm going to re-ink. Now you could use a different color. I'm choosing to use the same color. And takes me a second to line these up. Nope. Let's try this. There we go. And I'm just going to stamp down, and you get that two-tone image. Now there is a little stamp in here that is for the center of that flower. It's right here. So I'm just going to drop it down and pick it up. And I'm going to do that in Daffodil Delight. So there's that. And now we want to do some leaves. And for that one, I'm using Parakeet Party. I just thought it was a nice contrast with the Sweet Sorbet and the Pool Party. So we are going to pick up the double stamp. Let me bring that in here. And I'm going to grab my Parakeet Party. And let's ink that up. And then let's go ahead and do the detailed part of the stamp. So I'm gonna. Now I've done these all ahead of time and cut them out, but I did want to show you how to use the two-step stamps. And particularly if there was someone that has not used them before. I think they actually give so much detail to your stamping. And I love the way they look when you stamp over with the same color. Isn't that pretty? So let's move that out. And in Essence of Time, I have stamped two of those. And I have two leaves. So let's go ahead and we're going to adhere this to the card. Now, I don't know that we're going to use two, but let's see. So I wanted to add one. I think this is a great spot to give some, to add a little something there. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Stampin' Dimensionals. Now, if you're going to lean something on something else, you don't want to put a Stampin' Dimensional there, because then it's going to raise it up and it's not going to lay nice and look nice. So with this, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to this way, and I'm going to put dimensionals just on like 3/4 of this. And I'm going to go with the small ones. Oops. If you like today's video, I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. That helps me to grow my channel. Also, feel free to share the videos. That also helps me grow my channel and it gets them out to more people. So here's the one that I don't have a Stampin' Dimensional on. Just going to go ahead and bring that in there and add it. Now I'm going to add my leaves. And again, my leaves are going to tuck under here. So I'm not going to add anything here, but I am going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the ends, or at least towards the middle. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me take that off. And let's put one here. And then maybe let's put one here, or maybe up there. Let's see how that looks. So again, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Dimensional. See all my little backings from those. Oftentimes I find the dog wearing them. Okay, let's do that. So here's the front of our card. So we didn't use this flower, so we have it for another one. And now let's do the inside. So for the inside, I cut a piece of basic black. I wanted to play off that. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have a 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of basic white. For the basic white, I wanted to add a greeting. This one says, "So much love for you." So I chose 2 of the greetings from the stamp set. And I'm going to show you what I did with them. I chose to use Happy Valentine's Day, and I chose to use Nobody Gets Me Like You Get Me. So I want to stamp them, but I only want to stamp once. So I use my grid paper to line it up. That way I know my stamps are straight, because the grid paper's straight and I often am not. So I lay it along a line like you can see, and then I'm going to put the Happy Valentine's Day right under it. And I put my bottom of my letters. I don't use the stamp base. I use the letters to line up and hopefully get it straight. So this one, that one was coming up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is take my stamp and pick them both up. Now, as I picked that up, it moved. So I'm going to do that again. And I am going to bring it down so I don't have to put my head in the... Okay, so now I have 2 stamps on one. And I am going to stamp this. And I'm going to use... I'm going to go with the Sweet Sorbet. So let's ink those up. Hi, Shirley. Thank you for joining me. So let's bring in the paper. And I'm going to go ahead and just stamp in the middle. And now I have my 2 greetings, and those look pretty straight. And I only had to do it once. Now for the bottom, I want to add a strip of the Designer Series paper. And remember, I showed you that little piece we had left over. I cut a 3/8 inch strip. I always cut it a little bit longer because it's easy to trim off. And that way I know it's going to be even and not run short. So we're going to come in here and line that up on the edge. And then I'm going to take my scissors I use for adhesives and just trim that off. Now, I thought it would be fun to add, I don't know, some hearts. And there are a couple little hearts that are in this stamp set. And you have two sizes. You have a larger one and a smaller one. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to stamp those. And I'm going to just pick them up. We're going to bring in our sweet sorbet. And I'm just going to add a couple. And I'm going to take that off and I'm going to bring in the little one. And I should be using a smaller block just so I don't smear. All right, so here's the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and adhere this one. Now, you have all those different greeting. Oops, almost forgot. Busy talking. Gonna adhere this to the black. And now we're gonna put this to the card base. And there we go. So here's our card. So much love for you. Nobody gets me like you get me. Happy Valentine's Day. That's going to be for my husband. So, but when you're using this stamp set, you just have so many varieties to be able to do a happy anniversary, a congratulations, a thanks for all you do, each and every day friend, just a wide variety of uses. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, if you did, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, help me grow my channel, and feel free to share. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, that you have some time for relaxation, whatever that may be. And I will be back with you on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you soon.